Are you ready for it?
Of course.
You're going to count us down, please, Ian.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and...
You won the Booker Prize for Amsterdam. Do you think personally that's your best book so far?
No, Amsterdam was a jeu d'esprit, almost a novella, actually. But the Booker Prize is judged by a committee. Committee decisions always have an element of chance, the spinning bottle, and I was very pleased to get a prize.
Have you got an unwritten story that you're dying to tell?
No, my stories tell themselves in the writing. So it's only by writing them that I discover them.
How do you dream up your characters?
I sit around and mope, stare out the window, go for long moody walks, and let them slowly into my life.
Do you take your writing to bed with you? Do you think about it around the clock?
It's always there. It's maybe not even right at the front of thinking, but it's a bit like the air you breathe. Once I'm launched into something, it's total. But within that, I can make a life.
Is it true that you're a slow writer?
I'm pretty slow, although once I get going, in the last, say, third of a novel, when I really know what I'm doing, I know the tone of it, the way the characters move and speak and are, I can turn in 1,000 words in a day.
When you've finished a novel, do you mentally say goodbye to it?
Once it's over, final proofs are read, and once I've done a round of interviews explaining myself, I find the novel is slowly dying on me, and at that point it does begin to leave me. I don't revisit it.
You forensically research your novels. Do you understand quantum mechanics, which you mentioned or you write about in Solar?
No, I don't. And what I discovered in researching Solar is that very few people understand quantum mechanics. In fact, someone said something like, if you meet someone who says they understand it, then they clearly don't. Lots of people know how to operate it, but the extent to which it actually describes a physical material world is a very complicated matter. It's a system that we know how to pull the levers, but we're not quite sure what reality it's suggesting to us.
When it comes to huge authors, huge novelists like Dickens and Jane Austen and Thomas Hardy, do you have a personal favourite?
Among the giants, I guess Joyce. Largely, I think, because he did open up to us a world of describing consciousness in minute and loving detail, and celebrating the thinginess, the things of life, the ordinary stuff of life.
Do you read a lot?
Yes, I do read a lot. It's one of my great pleasures. I try and put aside a couple of hours every afternoon, even when I'm working hard on a novel, to read.
Do you feel that you have a style?
My style is shaped by the novel I'm writing.
Lots of noise in the background, but we'll just plough on.
We're ploughing on. It's very much driven by the material itself. But I suppose I like a careful, fairly precise prose. I like to use imagery sparingly, so that when it is there, I hope it'll be all the more vivid. And that's always been with me, actually, right from the beginning.
What matters more to you, language or plot?
Well, it's the language will generate the plot. I work at the level of the sentence and the paragraph. I don't think much, say, of themes. Plots look after themselves for me. Once I get on the long march of a novel, the plot begins to unfold before me. I don't have it all mapped out ahead of me.
Possibly your most famous book is Atonement. What does atonement mean to you?
The word itself is fascinating. It's an 18th century made-up word, at-one-ment. And I suppose it's religious originally, of course, at one with God. So you've made your peace with God, you have cleared your conscience, you're ready to enter heaven, or not. But, it's acquired a secular sense, too, of being at peace with the world, of having your own conscience clear with yourself. It's a useful word, very hard to translate. When we set about, French, German, we were looking for words, equivalent words like expiation. Not quite the same thing.
Of the non-literary arts, which is the one that intrigues you the most, or that you spend the most time with?
Music, without question. I spend a lot of time round the corner at the Wigmore Hall. I love chamber music. I love the abstraction of music.
That is all we've got time for, I'm afraid.
Then, all to the better.
Really good to meet you.
Thank you, Matt.